If there are no other, the Honorable Marcoleta is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just would like to manifest, since I was Chief of Staff here way back 2004 up to 2024, I've witnessed impeachment proceedings against presidents, one ombudsman, one Chief Justice. Pero wala pa po akong narinig na pag-uusap tungkol sa sufficiency in grounds. Ang naririnig ko lang lagi, sufficiency in form and substance. Ngayon ko lang po yata narinig itong bago na rule na ito, sufficiency in grounds. Could you please clarify me on
For the
this?
satisfaction of the Honorable Marcoleta, please allow the Chair to read Section 7 of the Rules of Impeachment of the House of Representatives adopted by the 20th Congress of the Philippines. Section 7, Submission of Evidence and Memoranda. After receipt of the pleadings, affidavit and counter-affidavits, and relevant documents provided for in Section 6, or the expiration of the time within which they may be filed, the committee shall determine whether the complaint alleges sufficient grounds for impeachment. That is for the satisfaction of the Honorable Marcoleta.
May I know, Madam Chair, when the rules were promulgated?
This
not
has
furnished a
been the
copy.
rules of impeachment of the 19th Congress, which the 20th Congress adopted.
So it's not new. Hindi po siya bago.
This has been part of the previous rules, which were used during the past impeachment processes.
Opo, kasi bago lang po sa akin yung sufficiency in grounds. Hindi ko po narinig yan sa mga dating proceedings. Yun lang po. Salamat po. Madam Chair, also, again, a manifestation for clarification with the indulgence of the Chair. Akin pong hinihiling ang clarification ng komite kaugnay ng aplikasyon ng Section 7 ng ating rules on impeachment, particular kung kailan eksaktong nagtatransition ng komite mula sa determination of sufficiency in grounds patungo sa conduct of hearings at reception of evidence. Sa malinaw na basa ng Section 7, matapos ang submission ng pleadings, affidavits at relevant documents sa ilalim ng Section 6 o matapos ang lapse ng period, ang tungkulin ng komite ay tukuyin muna kung may sufficient grounds for impeachment. Kung wala, dapat i-dismiss. Kung meron, saka pa lamang magko-conduct ng hearing kung saan papasok ang examination, cross-examination at compulsory processes. Kaya nais ko lamang malinawan, Madam Chair, kung ang mga tinatalakay at tinatanggap na materyales at references sa puntong ito ay para na ba sa determination of sufficiency in grounds o tayo ba ay de facto na nasa hearing stage na dapat ay nangyayari lamang pagkatapos ng ganong determinasyon. Ang paglilinaw na ito ay mahalaga upang matiyak na ang ating proseso ay nananatiling tapat sa ating sariling rules at upang maiwasan ng anumang persepsyon na ang komite ay lumalampas o naghahalo ng mga yugto ng proceedings na malino na pinaghiwalay ng ating rules on impeachment. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
To reiterate, Honorable Marcoleta, the Chair has been stating that we are on the third step, that is the determination of sufficiency in ground. So all these proceedings are towards determining whether or not sufficient ground exists to be able to proceed to this impeachment proceeding. It is only after the declaration of whether or not there is sufficient ground that we may be able to proceed to hearing proper. During the hearing proper, both the complainant and the respondent will be given opportunity to present their witnesses and their evidence.
Madam, di po dapat we should have determined the sufficiency in ground before we voted for sufficiency in form and substance. Kasi we already voted for that.
I wish to direct the Honorable Marcoleta to the Rules of Impeachment Secretariat. Perhaps we need to provide him a copy of the rules. Again, the proceeding before the Justice Committee, Honorable Marcoleta, is summarized into 5. And you can confirm this from the Rules of Impeachment adopted by the 20th Congress. 1 is form, 2 is substance, 3 is ground, 4th is hearing proper, and 5th is the determination of probable cause. After that, we go to the plenary. Kindly look into the copy of the Rules of Impeachment because everything that I am saying is strictly consistent with the provision of the rules.
I will go check, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I encourage all members, even non-members, no, na sana po basahin po natin yung rules para hindi po tayo nalilito at nang sa ganun po ay maiwasan po natin yung mga tanong na maliwanag naman po sa ating rules, na nakasaad sa rules. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Ko.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Similarly, gaya po ng ating manifestation sa third impeachment complaint, no, paano ba nai-impluwensyahan ng answer or ng sagot ni VP Sara Duterte itong fourth impeachment complaint? Hindi natin masabi dahil wala nga pong sagot na naibigay, no. Pero for the purposes then of the public, no, nakalagay po nga sa rules na merong pong requirement that the committee finds sufficiency in grounds. No? Ano po ba tong mga grounds na maaari nating ilatag at desisyonan, no, para mag-move forward to the next step of the impeachment proceedings sa House Committee on Justice? No? Sa Constitution po, may 6 na grounds, no, na nakalagay. Nandiyan po yung tinatawag nating, may 6 na grounds. No? It is this representation forwarding na sa 6 na nakalagay sa Constitution, VP Sara Duterte is guilty of 5. Mabigat po yun. No? Out of the 6, may 5 batayan to say that guilty po siya. No? Gusto ko lang pong pasadahan, no, bilang appreciation of the body. Una, gaya po ng isinaad natin sa reklamong inendorso ng Makabayan, itinaksil ni VP Sara ang tiwala ng publiko. She betrayed public trust sa pag-abuso niya ng pondo sa mamamayan, sa pangongontrata niya na pumatay, at sa pagsisinungaling niya sa hindi tamang pagdeklara ng kanyang ari-arian sa Statement of Assets and Liabilities o SALN. No? Para lang pong himayin pa konti, ang pera ng taong bayan na dapat natatamasang benepisyo ng mamamayan ay hindi ginamit ng tama o naiulat man ng maayos ang paggamit nito. May opportunity po sana si VP Sara Duterte to rebut that, but unfortunately in the answer, we don't see it. Hindi lang naman po ito usapin, no, sa kung paano niya na-handle yung confidential and intelligence funds ng Office of the Vice President. Damay din ang pondo ng Department of Education na supposedly nagagamit para sa benepisyo ng kabataan, pero unfortunately ito po ay nagamit para sa katiwalian. Lahat po tayo nagbabayad ng buwis. Paano natin mapagkakatiwalaan na nagagamit ng maayos ang kaban ng bayan kung ang Vice-Presidente ng Pilipinas ay kung saan-saan ginagamit ang perang hiningi niya? Nilabag niya ang tiwala natin na dapat maayos na paggasta ng pera ng bayan. Meron din po na articulation of grounds saying na yung kanyang death threats, no joke, no joke, ito po ay bahagi ng pwedeng sufficient ground for the continuation of the impeachment proceedings. In this representation's opinion, ang kanyang ding pangongontrata ng pagpatay ng sino man, pangulo man iyan o ordinaryong mamamayan, ay paglabag din sa tiwala ng publiko. Tatak Duterte talaga, like father, like daughter. Pagpapatuloy ng culture of impunity, kung saan tahasang maaari na lang pwedeng sabihin at aaktuhan, no, yung gantong klaseng threat to life, no, to Filipino citizens. Ikalawa, ano pa po yung mga ibang mga grounds as provided in the Constitution? Culpable violation of the Constitution. Pagtahasang may paglabag sa Constitution, maaari pong ma-impeach ang isang opisyales. At para sa atin, no, may responsibilidad si VP Sara Duterte, mga public officials, na magsabi ng totoo sa kanyang SALN, no, sa kanyang mga iba't ibang summons sa pagdepensa ng spending, but nonetheless, VP Sara Duterte did not do so. Ikatlo, bribery. Siya po ay nanuhol ng kapwa pampublikong opisyal in facilitating covert delivery or distribution of cash to influence official functions. Ika-4, meron din pong katiwalian at korupsyon, graft or corruption. She caused undue injury to the government by giving unwarranted benefits through irregular disbursements. At meron din pong, lastly, no, other high crimes na ayon sa batas ay mga gawain na krimeng kayang maparusahan sa batas na kung kinasuhan siya ay magiging isang quote-unquote official unworthy to remain in office. Dapat grabe ang bigat ng naging kasalanan na tinamaan mismo ang maayos na paggana ng gobyerno. At pasok po ang kabuuan ng ginawa ni VP Sara Duterte under this definition. No? Samantala, ang representasyon na ito ay critical din, no, sa mga argumento na quote-unquote destabilization or sedition. May arguments na nag-articulate na ang kanyang mga naging salita or ang pagpunta sa peace rally even ay nagko-constitute nito. No, sa bahagi po ng representasyon na ito, nakita natin na ginagamit din to against ordinary citizens, against ordinary Filipinos. And we'd like, no, to advise everyone, no, na mag-caution sa paggamit nito, lalo na't ito ay paraan para mag-express din ng grievances ang mga mamamayan. Nonetheless po, sa paglatag po natin, Madam Chair, ng mga grounds under the Constitution, anong acts, no, napasok doon po sa kanyang grounds, this representation submits that there are sufficient grounds for VP Sara Duterte's impeachment proceedings to continue. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chairman,
Thank you, Honorable Ko.
may I be
Madam
recognized?
Chair,
The Honorable Nonoy Defensor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Enough has been said this morning, and it bears stressing that part of the due process is to conduct a hearing so that the respondent could also present her evidence formally. And it is also worth stressing that part of due process is expediting an impeachment proceeding. Dapat po mabilis ang isang impeachment process kasi kung walang kasalanan si Vice President Sara Duterte, dapat ma-dismiss na ito at hindi na siya maaabala at makabalik na tayo sa ating trabaho. At dapat mapabilis din dahil kung may kasalanan ang isang respondent, ay dapat mapatrial na ito para madesisyonan ng Senado kung manatili man siya o matanggal sa pwesto. Therefore, Madam Chairman, may I encourage the members of this committee that we proceed with the next step of the chairman in our agenda so we can fruitfully end this day, and whether or not we proceed with the conduct of a hearing, we will determine it as soon as possible. Thank you.
Madam
Honorable
Chair.
Defensor, would you like to move that we proceed to voting?
Madam Chair, I move that we decide to declare the third impeachment complaint as having sufficient grounds to conduct a hearing.
Is there any second?
Second.
Second, Madam
Is there any objection?
Madam Chair.
Hearing none.
Madam Chair,
Are you objecting, Honorable Rodriguez?
I am bringing out Section 7. Section 7 precisely provides for determination of sufficiency of grounds, not complaint. While sufficiency in complaint in substance and form, we have to go one by one. I will read now Section 7 because we have to vote on the grounds. And what are these grounds? 6 in the third complaint, 5 in the fourth complaint. Section 7. Submission of evidence and memoranda after receipt of the pleadings, affidavits, and counter-affidavits and relevant documents provided for in Section 6 or the expiration of the time within which they may be filed, the committee shall determine whether the complaint alleges sufficient grounds for impeachment. So we are going to go into grounds because that will be what will be heard in the committee. So I think we should go one by one so that we will be able to comply sufficient grounds. So I move.
Honorable
to check.
Rodriguez, I encourage that we revisit the wordings of Section 7 because contrary to the opinion of the Honorable Rodriguez, what is being declared as sufficient or insufficient in ground is the complaint and not the grounds alleged in per complaint. Going back to this provision, it says the committee shall determine whether the complaint, it is the complaint, which is the subject matter of the declaration of the sufficiency in ground, whether the complaint alleges sufficient grounds for impeachment. Earlier, the chair manifested that the committee is welcoming the manifestation per ground. But indeed, if we go back to the provision of the rules, the declaration has to be on the entire impeachment complaint.
Madam Chairman, may
The
I,
Honorable Defensor,
may
there
I-
is a pending motion.
may I reiterate or amend my motion? I move to declare that the third impeachment complaint has sufficient ground or grounds to conduct a hearing by this committee.
There is an amended motion to declare the third impeachment complaint, the Zabalia et al. Impeachment complaint, sufficient in grounds. Do I hear a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The chair declares the third impeachment complaint sufficient in ground.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Deputy Speaker Janet Garin.
I move to declare and approve the sufficiency of grounds for impeachment of the fourth impeachment complaint, the Cabrera complaint.
There is a motion to declare and approve the sufficiency in ground of the fourth impeachment complaint, that is Cabrera impeachment complaint. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection?
Madam Chair, a manifestation.
Is this an objection?
No, it's not. But we'd
Can
like
we
to
first
manifest-
rule on the motion?
We just first manifest that when it's true, it says complaint whether it has sufficient grounds. The adjective sufficient should be the one controlling, that the grounds should be the ones discussed. But I would just like to state that in this fourth impeachment complaint, I find 2 to be sufficient, the 3 are not. So that is my manifestation, but I have no objection.
The manifestation of the Honorable Rodriguez is noted by the committee. Hearing no objection, the chair approves the motion. The fourth impeachment complaint is declared sufficient in grounds. At this point, honorable members of the Justice Committee, we declare the conclusion of step 3. We declare the conclusion of the determination of sufficiency in grounds. Now, we proceed to step 4. That is the hearing proper. And in line with that, I wish to add that the evidence and witnesses which will be presented by both parties during the hearing proper will be part of our consideration in the determination of probable cause in our step 5. Having said so, the chair announces the predetermined schedule of our hearing proper. This includes March 25, 2026, April 14, April 22, and April 29, 2026. These are the initial dates for our hearing proper. Likewise, the chair places on record that the committee is in receipt of the approved resolution authorizing, the title of which, authorizing the House Committee on Justice to implement Section 8 of the Rules of Procedure in impeachment proceedings relating to the protection of complainants and witnesses, and further authorizing the committee to continue the conduct of impeachment proceedings and the exercise of ancillary powers during the recess of the House of Representatives from March 21, 2026 to May 3, 2026. This is the authority that was given by the plenary, the House of Representatives, to the Justice Committee to be able to conduct hearing during our break. That explains the predetermined schedule for our hearing proper. In addition, the chair places on record the committee's receipt on March 5, 2026 of the letter of the Honorable Chel Jokno. This is a request for issuance of subpoena duces tecum of pertinent documents. We likewise place on record the receipt on March 17, 2026 of a petition for transfer of custody of witness Ramil Madriaga. Likewise, this is from the Honorable Jose Manuel Tadeo Chel Jokno. The request for issuance of subpoena and the petition for transfer of custody will be acted upon by the committee on the initial stage of our hearing proper on March 25, 2026. Nonetheless, we are directing the committee secretariat to provide copy of the request and the petition to all the justice members. We likewise direct the requesting party, Honorable Chel Jokno, to furnish the respondent copy of the request for issuance of subpoena and copy of petition for transfer of custody. Would you like to manifest?
Yes, Madam
Honorable
Chair.
Jokno?
We will comply with the instructions of the Honorable Chair. At the same time, just for clarification, may I just state that the petition that I filed is for adequate protection under Section 8 of the Rules of Impeachment, which, depending on the discretion of the committee, may perhaps include a transfer of custody.
The
Thank you.
chair stands corrected. Kindly reflect the correction that was manifested by the Honorable Jokno. If there are no other matters which the member wish to raise, the chair is ready to hear the necessary motion.
Madam Chair, move to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn. The same has been seconded. There is no objection. Kindly amend the motion. Motion to suspend.
Motion to suspend, Madam Chair.
There is an amended motion to suspend. Any second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, our hearing is suspended until March 25, 2026 at 10 o'clock in the morning.